Hello and welcome to the third and final video. It's great for me to say that because I've been here for many months. If you are new to the channel or you haven't seen the other two previous videos regarding this development, go and check them out before you watch this one. It will give you a basic idea on when I purchased this, original ideas, and basically a few issues and challenges that I had along the way. But now, this project is complete, the property is on the market, and I should have tenants in here within the next couple of weeks or so. For anyone who hasn't come across the channel before or seen me on social media, I'm not extremely active, to be honest, mainly due to this project taking over my life. But a bit of a background on myself. My name's Luca Vitali. I am a property investor. I've been doing this since 2017, but I am also a qualified carpenter. So I've been working on site now for 10 years. And I've worked on many different types of projects in that time. Grade 2 listed buildings, new builds, residential properties, garage conversions. I've done my fair share. And not just carpentry work, building work, grounds work, etc. So I've worked for some of the biggest house builders in the UK. And I've seen a few things which are just, to me, I've never really been happy with. I've worked on 1.2, 1.3 million pound houses. And I can see the way the houses are being built, and I just know that I could do better. So over the last 10 years, I've actually acquired many good contacts to trustworthy, honest, reliable tradesmen who I now use on my own projects. Got a little black book at home with all these tradesmen in, and I think if anyone is from the property industry or within construction, you know finding these sort of builders is hard. You have to sieve them out, and sometimes you have to sieve out the dead wood to find the good guys. But I've got a good team now that I've used on a few projects. So I have always wanted to sit in the seat of the developer. Working on all these sites for years, I've always wanted to be in that seat, and I can well and truly tell you now I have sat in that seat and experienced everything that comes with it. The battle scars, the wounds, and everything else. Come out the back end now. As you'll see with this project, it's completely finished, but I have always wanted to do that myself. So everything that I've learned on this project is absolutely invaluable. So what was actually built here was 2 flats, a 1-bedroom on the ground floor and a 2-bedroom which is on the first floor and goes into the loft space. So let me give you a tour around now. Okay, so we're at the front of the property. As you can see here, this will be shared access for both flat 1 on the ground floor and for flat 2 upstairs. Let's go in and have a look. So as you can see, straight to your left, you've got flat 1, which we'll go and view now. So this here is your bedroom. The way this bedroom will be laid out would be your bed coming out from this feature wall. So I've gone quite plain with the colours in this building. White everywhere. The headboard walls, so the feature walls in the bedrooms, apart from the spare room upstairs, we've gone with this colour here, which is Tranquil Dawn Dulux, for anyone that needs to know. So a bed coming out like this, and then you've got built-in wardrobes to your left, and you've still got a bit of space around here if you wanted some chest of drawers or bedside table, etc. So these were all made prior. Built in, you've got double hanging on one side, shelf at the top, and then you've got your long hanging and shelves through the middle. Like I said, I've worked for a lot of builders and I've worked on a lot of new builds, and they're just boxes, to be honest. You walk in the room and it looks nice and clean, but by the time you put a bed, a bedside table, a wardrobe and a chest of drawers, there's no room for anything else. So I wanted to include built-in wardrobes, and these did not cost a bomb. Mirrored wardrobes, Howdens, I think they're about 95 pounds. So you don't always have to spend a great deal of money with built-in wardrobes, but the ones on the top floor you'll see a little bit more expensive, but because it's a pitched roof on both sides, they had to be built in, but you'll see that when we go up there. You think dustpan and brush, mop, usual stuff you have in the house which you want to have away, your Hoover. It probably would be nice to put some shelving in there, maybe some slatted shelves. Might potentially do that. Here is the bathroom. Toilet, vanity unit, your dehumidifying mirror. So of course it's always great to tile the bathroom floor to ceiling, but of course it comes down to cost, and we all know tilers are not cheap. So in here, we've half tiled it, built a little niche in the shower, which is always great because they don't need to screw anything to the walls. Put your shampoo bits and pieces. But yeah, lovely bathroom, nice and spacious. And yeah, what more could you want? Vinyl on the floor. This vinyl was a little bit different. I wanted to mix it up because all the walls are white. I didn't want it to look too clinical. So we went for this bit of Aztec pattern on the floor, which you'll see is in both bathrooms. Let's have a look down here, which is your kitchen living room for flat 1. So this was the brand new extension, which you'll see from the previous clips, pictures. My cameraman will actually laugh. When we were here last time, which was several months ago, the garden was just a complete mess. There's rubbish everywhere, and we were waiting for oh no, that wasn't last time, that was the time before. Sorry, mix up. When the foundations were actually being poured for the concrete, and then it didn't even turn up. So let's just say that was one of the small issues on this job, which we've had plenty of them. But yeah, lovely, lovely space. In this kitchen, you've got your combi boiler, Worcester combi boiler. Would like to say that I'm a member of LMPG, which is the Landlords Buying Group, which if anyone who is landlord developer, I probably would recommend going with them because I've probably saved myself 3,000 to 4,000 based on appliances, kitchens, and bathroom suites. Some really, really good prices. So if you're a developer, have a look into that. You pay a one-off fee for the year based on how many properties you've got. And then built-in appliances, we've got your washer dryer, your slimline dishwasher, 450 wide. And then you've got your larder fridge freezer, which I feel is great. Even though it's a small flat, if I was living here, I would prefer to have a larger fridge. So your larder fridge freezer. And I've definitely gone the extra mile when it comes to things like hobs. As you can see, Zanussi hobs, you've got Zanussi oven. We haven't just gone cheap. With everything in this project, I've gone the extra mile. I've been in some properties that I've worked in over the years, and they'll just go and put the essentials in, the cheapest sort of range. Okay, so now we're gonna go to flat 2, which is on the first floor and the second. So this area here is actually quite useful. You think if you've got a push bike or pram, you wanna chuck your trainers down or any other bits and pieces, this space here is actually quite handy. And then now for upstairs. So straight ahead of you, this is what could be either your spare bedroom or your office space. Me personally, if I was living in this flat, this would be my office. You've got sufficient room, decent natural light coming in, and we put sufficient sockets. You've got 4, so 2 on each wall, and then obviously if you want to put a TV, you've got your aerial point over here. But really nice little room. This also fits single bed, so either or. Judging by some of the viewings that we've had, The office space seems to be quite appealing, especially with, at the moment, COVID, more people working from home. That's probably what this room will be used for. This is the kitchen living space for flat 2. Something I haven't mentioned, I think you heard me talk about it in the first video, which was the windows. These here are UPVC sliding sash windows. You would have heard me say that this is a conservation area where this property is located. Many complications around what was here before and what we wanted to put in, and the council and the conservation officer, but anyway, we could do a whole video on that. UPVC sliding sash windows, really, really good value for money, and these are across the whole building. We changed these. I think originally at first, I actually thought I was going to be able to restore some of the windows, and then soon realised the costs and the implications that would have been involved, it would not have been worth it. So that's what we've done over the whole property. We've got 2 glazed doors, these glazed fire doors in both of the kitchen living rooms, just to let through the natural light to go through to the hallways. Same story with this kitchen, with your built-in appliances, your fridge freezer, you've got your combi boiler here. Lots of space, your washer dryer, exactly the same as downstairs. And then we go through to what will be the bathroom. This bathroom is obviously smaller than downstairs. So obviously this is the smaller flat, this is the larger flat, but you've got a smaller bathroom and a smaller amenity space outside. But still very appealing, very desirable, big walk-in shower, nice big towel rail on your left-hand side, and same design. Half tiled, rainfall shower, dehumidifying mirror. Before we go in there, you've obviously got a little bit of storage, same as downstairs. Somewhere to put your hoover, dustpan and brush, your mop. And then what we've actually done here, we've utilised the eaves slightly. I'll open this up so you can see. So it goes back about 1.5 meters. And then to your right goes in about 2 meters. So you think if someone is here long term and they want to put Christmas trees, Christmas decorations, luggage, things that you don't need to get out for a few months. Now this is the master bedroom for flat 2. This is probably my favourite room. You will see in the first video, I'm stood exactly here discussing about the crack that is actually on this wall, where we could actually see into the neighbour's loft. But this is definitely my favourite room. Lots and lots of work has gone in up here. In terms of insulation, we had to build the rafters out because they were only about 60 mil. So we had to double them up to create, I think it was 150. We've got 100 mil insulation between, 25 mil underneath. And then obviously you've got all of these built-in wardrobes and chest of drawers, which are fantastic because you wouldn't be able to go to somewhere like IKEA. Of course, chest of drawers, you could, but in terms of wardrobe space, because of the eaves on both sides, you have to do built-in. So me putting this on the market for someone to come and live here, it's not very practical. Some landlords would just say, well, I don't care, I'm not going to be living there. That's not me at all. I like to put myself in the position of the prospective tenant. And you can see someone can come in here now, they just need to bring their bed. And you've got your rail there. I don't know if you can see that. All ready for someone to put their clothes in more than enough storage. But definitely this is my favourite room throughout the whole development. So there you have it. Semi-commercial building, which was originally a very, very old barber shop on the ground floor. You had 2 bedrooms on the first floor and a bedroom in the loft. converted to 2 flats, 2 bedroom and a 1 bedroom. It's taken a lot longer than expected. If you've watched my first video, you would have heard me standing about 2 meters over there saying to my cameraman, I'm gonna give it about 5 months from now. So it's towards the end of October now. 5 months, absolutely no more than that. And we should be there. I'm expecting this to be done in 5 months. Don't get me wrong, these sort of jobs, they can be done in 5 months with the correct processes in place. Not to say that I had the incorrect processes in place, but let's just say there was a lot of hard learnings on this job. When you've got the right team, things can run like clockwork. So for the next job, there's going to be a lot of things that we learn here, which are put forward. So now I'm going to give you 4 top tips, I believe, for anyone thinking of doing these sort of projects. Maybe you've done a couple buy-to-lets, a couple of light refurbishments, and maybe some heavier refurbs, because that's what I came from. I came from doing refurbs that cost £4,000, £6,000, quite cosmetic, to doing refurbs that cost sort of 12 to 18,000, a little bit heavier, lots more plastering, painting, bathrooms, kitchens, to doing this project. So I've worked myself up to this stage. You might want to dive into this sort of project first before doing those projects. I probably wouldn't advise that, but it can be done. It can be done if you've got the right team behind you. But I'm the sort of person, I like to take the smaller steps first, lay the foundation, and then we go in like this. So here are my 4 top tips. So tip number 1, buy at the right price. With this property, you would have heard me say in the first video, I got it for a good price. That was due to a few other factors. But if you've been in property, you understand you don't just buy for the price that is on the market for. The best sort of property deals are made when you purchase. So especially when you're going into heavier refurbs, especially with a project like this, if you're buying a detached house and building 10 detached houses on that bit of land, you probably have a bit of play because there's a fair bit of profit at the back end, give or take a few variables. With a project like this, until you start, there's a lot of things that you have no idea about. The state of the brickwork, the lintels above the windows and the doors. This stuff you will not know until you start the work. Number 2 is allow a contingency. Going back to the last point of not foreseeing certain things until you start the building work. For example, once you take all the plaster off the walls, the concrete lintels, and there's certain things behind what you originally see when you first view the property, which you don't know if you're going to be able to reuse. Things like timber joists. We could be talking things that will be another £10,000 on your budget. So you need to allow a good contingency on your project. Tip number 3 is never assume anything. And if it's something really important, you need to have it in writing, either in an email or a letter form. Doing this project has just reinstalled that in myself. I know that from just working with builders and professionals. You can never assume anything. Always cross-check your information. Even if you have a bit of information given from one professional, double-check it. Or if you have some quotes from one builder or 2 builders, get another 2 or 3 quotes. Just don't assume ever. Tip 4 is working with the right people. You need to make sure you know who you're working with, that they're trustworthy, honest, and reliable. And they are who they say they are. And there's many ways of checking this. Reviews on their websites, looking at their past projects. For example, I'm a carpenter, I've worked on building sites the last 10 years, but how do you know that? You need to see my work, my projects, the clients I've worked for, the reviews, the feedback, or my referrals. So very, very important. And especially when you're hiring people where you're paying them big money, 5, 6, 7 figures, you need to make sure you know who they are. So let's leave it on that note. Till the next video or the next development, we'll see where we go with this channel. Hope you've enjoyed the last 3 videos, and until next time. Go, don't follow me. Bang.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, so now that I've taken you through the whole property, got. Bit of a background on myself.
My name's Cameron Bell. I invest in properties. Got some carpentry courses under my belt. You know, I'm like Joe Blogs of the building world. If you don't know who I am, where have you been? I've got like 1 million subscribers. So anyway,